much for tuning in today. I don't know where you're calling in from, but we have had people calling in globally to hear this information. So number one, I'm glad you're here. Number two, if you are a researcher, get a pen and a paper, because I'm going to give you some information that did nothing short of radically change me and my family's life 9 years ago. Now, it's going to sound too good to be true. It's going to be, you're going to ask yourself questions like, why haven't I heard of this? And what happened for me is when I really realized after doing the research that this was valid, that this was a for sure thing, I wanted to get my hands on it. And I wanted everyone that I cared about to know about this information. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm going to share my story. I'm going to talk a little bit about what this crazy breakthrough is and how it's accessible for everyone. And then I am going to talk a little bit about the business side at the end of it, which isn't for everybody, but I have to tell you about it because so many people right now are looking for a way to have multiple streams of income or a side hustle, that they're realizing that to get ahead, you need to diversify what you're doing. So a little bit about myself. My name is Daize Shane Goodwin. You are in our bus. My husband built this thing, years ago. I called it the money pit for years because we just didn't have enough coming in to turn this into what it looks like now. So I am thankful for this business and what it can bring. We were professional athletes for years and had a good time doing it. I won 2 world titles. I was able to learn a lot about work ethic and what it takes to be a success. I also learned really quickly that as illustrious as being a professional surfer or athlete sounds, it is just like any other job. And when the economy crashed, we found ourselves with the rug getting pulled out from under us. We had just bought a house, had our first kid on the way. We were feeling kind of like on cloud 9 until we got phone call after phone call, letting us know that that we had an expiration date. Didn't matter how many times my husband risked his life for the cover of a surf magazine, or how many world titles that I had won. It was over. And we did what anyone would do that had tasted freedom before. We opened a small organic cafe thinking it'd be a great way to not only serve our community, but to do something that didn't have to be something where we'd have to have a boss telling us what to do next. And we loved it for a minute. We put all of our savings into it and loved, the feeling that people would get when they leave. We've always been into health. But unfortunately, and if you've ever owned a small business, it owned us 24/7. We were thinking about, whether we had ordered enough tortillas the night before. I couldn't sleep because of it. The list goes on. The plumber, can't show up when the pipe breaks, and, employees and insurance and rent. And if you have ever owned a small business, you know what it feels like to have your feet nailed to the floor. And that was us. And, unfortunately, we couldn't sell enough organic food to make it work. People were coupon cutting back then, kind of a lot like what people are doing now. And we had to shut the doors because we didn't want to file for bankruptcy. And then, that's when personally my health took a toll. We went on into survival mode, the hamster wheel. We were trading time for dollars. You're working hard and underpaid. I had 3 jobs at the time, and we still were living with my in-laws and sharing a car. And that's when, for me, when the walls came tumbling down, I would have anxiety attacks if I just went to the mailbox. I was dealing with depression. I was an insomniac. And the worst part was that I couldn't be present with my kids. I was so focused on the lack and the truth that there just wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel, that it crippled me. And that's when I found out about this product and about, the opportunity that's attached. Now, I was the skeptic of all skeptics. So if today you're thinking, gosh, this just it just sounds too good to be true. It just seems like if this was real, why doesn't everybody know about it? It's okay. Just be open, because I was there too. Now, what happened was a friend of mine had been battling a life-threatening ailment, and he came across this information. PubMed, National Institute of Health, came out with some studies, now to date 30 of them, about how herbal products, ashwagandha, bacopa, milk thistle, green tea, and turmeric, these herbs, when put together at a certain patented proportion, become 1,800 times more effective. Now, what that means for you and I is that it can decrease this thing called oxidative stress, which is the center of every disease. And that's what you're hanging on here. That's what I'm really here to tell you about. That it was decreasing oxidation on a cellular level by almost half in a month. Now, this may sound, like, okay, what does that mean? Basically, our body rusts as we age. And that's just part of it. It's called aging. Some people take better care of themselves. And so maybe they don't get the ailments that somebody else does. But what I noticed personally is I was real healthy, but the emotional stress took me to a place where my body was in deep, deep need of repair. And the truth is that you and I are getting hijacked every day with free radical damage in the air we breathe, with the carbon dioxide, with the chlorine and fluoride in the water we drink, the electromagnetic radiation, the GMO and allergens in our food. I mean, honestly, the list goes on. And again, what I feel is even the most is emotional stress. And what happens is our body shuts down. Our body can't fight back from the assault. And so what they found is that these magical herbs that have been used for centuries, when put together at this proportion, was that people were having astounding results. For me, when I finally got on it, I couldn't believe how my mood lifted within days. Nothing had changed. We were still in a financial crisis, but my mood was lighter. I could see that that it was a good day. I could find gratitude. I was sleeping like a baby. After 3 months, all my little aches and pains went away, and my knees and my joints from pushing myself for so long as an athlete. And that, friends, is just my story. Since then, I obviously couldn't be quiet about it, because when your health changes, you tell people. And I was blown away by how every single person that trusted me enough to try the product had their own unique story, their own unique health story. And that is what happened. And that basically has turned into over 19,000 people globally on our team alone that have changed their health. Now, let me tell you a story, because to me, a big part of it was, well, if this is so good, why doesn't everybody know about it? And to me, it's a very important piece, especially why is a product with this much validity in a network marketing business model? So what happened was, in 2005, the world-renowned scientist, Dr. Joe McCord, who found this technology in natural care and natural medicine, put out a study saying that it was reducing oxidation by 40% on a cellular level. And what happened was ABC Primetime, which is if you remember, that was an investigative report. They go in there to debunk and create drama. They go in there to expose them for falsely claiming something that had never been medically possible. And they go in there. John Quinones is a multi-Emmy Award winner, goes in there, gets his blood drawn, and his oxidation measured by a T-bar test goes down 45% in 12 days. Now, overnight, where they were being sold at GNC and High Health and different selected health food stores, overnight, millions of orders go through. They're a biotech company. They can't handle that kind of influx and that demand. So they, try to ramp up productions, but you and I both know that we'd go back once, maybe twice, and forget about it. Well, this publicly traded company, LifeVantage, tries with infomercials and tries to, remind people of this finding, but it just didn't stick. And so when they hired someone, a business associate in 2009, they said, what do? We literally have a way, an affordable way that people can really, really prevent chronic disease from happening. This is about prevention. This isn't about some miracle pill. Your body is the miracle. This just flips on the switch to get you to be able to go to the root cause of all disease, over 200 of them, and fix it. This isn't the Band-Aid approach. This isn't the antioxidant, let's eat more blueberries approach. This is I'm going into the cells and fixing the problem. This is big. Washington State University says this may be the most important preventative care in the history of medicine. Big stuff. So there's a lot of other things that I could say, but because of time, and that's one thing that I like to do is keep things quick so that you can go and do the research. This company has a handful of products. My family uses all of them. One that rebuilds the mitochondria, one that increases, your sirtuin level with NAD by 100% in 24 hours. An amazing drink that I just read a story today of a kid that was on the spectrum with autism, that the mom is just in tears because it helped her child so much. So although we can't say that we're going to mitigate or cure your disease, we can let you know that there is a way to really, really, really help with prevention. So I'm going to switch a little bit. And that ABC Primetime, I don't know if someone is not a guest and has seen that ABC Primetime, if you could type that into the chat for whoever's on here, because that is a very important piece. That third-party validation, which the company did not pay for, is what got me to try it. Not my friend or my father-in-law who had his blood pressure go down, not them. It was more about this ABC Primetime. So watch that for sure. Now I'm going to shift to the business because we all need a little extra. For me, $300 extra coming in a month would have been just a lifesaver. And what I found here was because people care about health, because people want to make a little extra money, and because people want an easy, fast approach, this is just one of those things that is a magic. If you're willing to work, if you're willing to grow and get out of your way and follow a system, this can absolutely radically change your life like it did for my family. The average that people make in the mid ranks here is enough to, pay a $3,500 mortgage every month. I was able to get to that's almost the top rank of the company, and it has changed our life forever. It has given us freedom and hope and freedom, to do what we want when we want and not have a boss and not have to get another job. I'm with my kids, I'm present. And the compensation plan is one of the most generous in the industry. So if you're looking for something that is bigger than you, that you can get behind, with peer-reviewed research, with products that are simple, fast, and effective, that with a company that is so solid, no debt, and has big, big, big dreams and visions for the future, definitely ask whoever invited you a little bit more, because it's one of those things, for me these days, you need 5 ways of income to come in. If you really want to get ahead, you've got to have your hands in a lot of different pots. And what I love about this is that you share the information and people can make their own choice. But because health and wellness is the biggest world economy boost that the world has ever seen, and because people, like I said, they want that fast approach. Most people won't do a cleanse, drink more water, stop eating whatever they want to eat, even stick to their, their workout. People will take a pill. And that has been the best business decision that I've ever made. So get with the person that invited you, let them, know your questions. We can get on the phone. I had a million questions, but ask the questions, get to the bottom of this. If you're looking for products to really give you the vitality that you need, where you're not in that 3 o'clock slump, where you feel better than you felt in decades, then you need to take a look at this, because this is like nothing I've ever seen. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.